Okay, now that you've had time to pull up the text, I went ahead and made my split screen like this, where I'm going to type on one side and the text on the other side. When it's your turn to work, which is not yet, but when it is your turn to work, I suggest you do the same thing on your computer. Together, I'm going to look at the question and type an answer. I want you to watch along. I don't want you to type my answer or write my answer. I want you to watch how I would think about this and how I would do it. It says, what would have happened differently if Max never got hurt by some books? Use evidence from the text to support your response. I see this statement about evidence from the text. That tells me it's going to be a yes, ma'am response where I restate, back it up, explain, wrap it up. So I'm going to go to the text to the part where Max got hurt. I'm going to find that paragraph in the text here. It says there was probably only one person in the world who hated books more than Mina, and that was our cat Max. A long time ago, when he was just a kitten, an atlas fell on his tail. It bent the tip like a pipe cleaner. Ever since, he's tried to stay on top of the books rather than below them. One morning, after Mina moved all the books out of the sink to brush her teeth, she went to the kitchen to get breakfast for herself and Max. Now, I'm going to pause there because it already told me about the time that Max got hurt by some books. So, the very first thing that I'm going to type is a restate, and I'm going to use words from the question to turn it into a statement instead of a question. Re means again, state means tell, so I'm going to tell again exactly what would have happened differently. So, how to use those words from the question. If Max never got hurt by some books, if Max never got hurt by some books, Mina might have liked books. In the text, now I'm starting with a sentence starter. This type of answer is the bare minimum that I should be reading today, at least a restated sentence. In the text, that's the sentence starter that I'm going to use. And I'm going to use the text words where it says, an atlas bent the tip of his tail like a pipe cleaner. I see that right over here in the text. When he was just a kitten, an atlas fell on his tail. It says, when he was just a kitten, I'm going to go back to the text. An atlas fell on his tail. An atlas fell on his tail and bent the tip like a pipe cleaner. Like a pipe cleaner. This tells me that if Max was hurt, Mina probably wouldn't like what hurt him. Because I know if something hurt my dog Oakley, I would want to stay far away from that thing. I wouldn't want her to be hurt. So Mina might be feeling the same way. That is the text detail I chose and how I explained it. If Max was hurt, Mina probably wouldn't like whatever hurt him. In this case, that was books. Now I'm ready for my second back it up detail from the text, and I'm going to explain it. The text also states, now let's go back to the text. What else does it say? It says, ever since, he's tried to stay on top of books rather than below them. Makes sense. The text also states, Max tried to stay on top of the books. Let me go back to the text. Rather than below them. Rather than below them. Which tells me that if something hurt Mina's cat and he stayed away, she probably would too. Which proves to me that if Max never got hurt by some books, Mina would probably like them. I have answered the question. I have a restate with words from the question. I have backed it up with text evidence, and I explained it. Backed it up with a second piece of text evidence. I explained it. Then I wrapped it up with a sentence very similar to my first one here. When you are working today, I want you to do the same type of answer. As a class, you're going to continue listening to the story and reading along with the text so you know exactly what it says. Then, as a class, you'll discuss what you could write for this answer that says, what could have happened differently if the cat never got stuck on top of the books? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. As a class, continue listening to about the halfway point, and I want you to answer this question together with all 6 parts. Once you have tried it as a class, this question will be